If you have an RV that has a big slide that uses a Lippert SlimRack, prepare for failure. Let me show you. The slim rails have a design flaw right there at the end. So how would you typically fix a problem like this? Well, you order the replacement rail from Lippert. I think it's like $130 something. And what you do is you take your slide and you jack it up and you put a support to take all the load off of your slide, and then you disassemble the top and bottom mechanism. You have to pull the whole mechanism out, and to give Lippert credit, they have got a step-by-step instructions on how to do this, but you have to disassemble the whole mechanism, take apart both mechanisms, pull out the rails from both to replace it. I've got a better solution. So this is how the rail attaches to your RV. It's held in place with this pin right here. Just pull that out. And here's our rail. Let me show you why I believe this is a flawed design. All the load is on this pin right here. The rail is pretty strong, except there's no material left here. Look at that little tiny bit. So you've heard the saying, the chain is only as strong as the weakest link. That's the weakest link. This is where it's going to break, right here and right here. Now this is extruded aluminum, and I don't know the specs of this aluminum, but I'm sure it's pretty strong, especially in this direction, because that's probably how it was extruded. The grains are going this way, and it's going to be put in tension. So this is a pretty strong member, except right there, because you cut out all the material, you have a little thin spot. Well, aluminum has a fatigue limit. Unlike steel, you can bend and pull and stretch, and sort of like the springs in your RV or your car, they bend, and they're going to do that for the rest of the car's life. They just don't break like that. Aluminum has a fixed number. It's got a fatigue limit. After you hit that thing 50, 60, 100, 1,000 times, it's going to crack and it's going to form at a stress concentration point. That's right here. So let me give you an example. I have a piece of aluminum welding rod. It's about the same diameter as the material right here left on the end of this rail. So if I take this rod and I bring my slide in, I bring my slide out, and if I just do this off and on for 5 or 6 or 7 times, it breaks. And that's what aluminum does. It's a great strong material, but you can't cycle it and you can't have any stress points. So what we need to do is we need to mount this rail using the strongest way possible, and that's not going to be a hole drilled through the metal. It's going to be attaching it, grabbing a hold of it at the strongest points. So let's go to the computer and let me show you what I came up with. Here's the CAD model of the Lippert rail and the mounting system, and there's been some engineering put into this. There's a lot of tolerances built in. You can see the slot here and the tolerances between the pin and the mount. It makes it so this doesn't bind up. So we don't want to mess with tightening up tolerances so when your slide closes it binds up and breaks something. But we do want to make it so this rail mounts to this block the strongest way possible. Let me show you what I came up with. This is a piece of aerospace aluminum, and it is going to mount using hardened roll pins. So these are roll pins that mount into the block. They actually press in place and grab a hold of this rail using the teeth. So instantly our cross-sectional area, and I'll turn this off and you guys can see it in here, is a lot thicker. So we have this whole block here. Now it's thin in the back, but this is solid all through here. This is all solid. So the strength is now all the way around, and it's going to be about 10 times stronger. And of course, it's going to hold on to the rail using these pins, and the shear strength of these pins is something like 18,000 PSI. So let me put this back together again and show you how the assembly actually looks once we take it apart. So I'll put this thing in motion, and you can see the pin pulls out and the washer, and then you've got your mount, and here are the roll pins holding on the block, and of course there's the rail. So let's go to the CNC. Let's build one of these. Let's go test it and see if it works on the RV. Our new part turned out great. I don't know what we should call this, maybe a slide rail reinforcement block or something like that. But before I show you actually how to install this, let's talk a little bit more about these rails, because I ordered 2 brand new rails at the same time, and check this out. If you line these up pin-wise, look how the location of that pinhole to the teeth is different from each slide. As a matter of fact, the slides on my RV, it's a different location on those also. So in other words, the distance from here to these teeth is varying constantly. So I'm gonna put these up on my website. If someone needs to do a repair on their slide, just note that your slide and my slide and all of our slides are gonna probably be different. But what I need to do out there in my RV is, because of course this is all broken off, I'm gonna go and clean it up. If you're handy with a Dremel, go and clean it up. And we have to make sure that we cut off just the right amount to fit into this block. But let me give you a quick demonstration with this block and how this works. So we're gonna set it in here like that. And then we're gonna take our pins and we're gonna go ahead and slide these in here. You see how it goes right into that hole. Of course, this is a clearance hole in the top, so the pin can actually go in. And at the bottom, this is a press fit. Now, it's not a huge press fit, but it's enough that these pins aren't going to fall out. So you're going to have to press them in, and I'm going to suggest using like a pair of channel locks or a pair of pliers to do that. And basically, you're going to do a press fit straight in, just like that, to get them in place. We're going to do it again here. Maybe we'll go the whole length. Let's try the whole length. It might actually be easier. That's much easier. Let's go that way. And we'll do this one also. All right, so we're in there. It's nice and firm. There's almost zero slop. There's just a little bit, but look what this looks like in our block. Oh, you gotta love it when things come together nice. So included with the repair kit is a brand new stainless steel pin with a new stainless steel washer. We're gonna put that in there. And of course, you're gonna have to put a washer on the bottom too. And I'll put in there a new snap ring too. I'm not gonna shove that thing on all the way because of course these, when you take them off, you need a new one every time. So this is a consumable item. But so now our block follows the same pattern. It can still float back and forth just like the original one. You're not going to have anything bound up. And when your slide comes to a stop, it actually stops on this. So it should have plenty of clearance for this block too. But you've got a lot more surface area, no more breaking of this. So let's do a little quick comparison because it's a lot of fun. Here is our other block. Here's our other pin. Let's take it out and look at the difference between these two. Yeah, there you go. Strength-wise, I think you're going to tell which one's stronger, but also my pen from my RV is actually bent. And you can see why it's bent, because it's bent like this, because you're holding it here and holding it here and pulling it in the center, and it's actually tweaking it just like that. On our new design, there's no room for it to do that. In other words, it's going to have a moment here and a moment here, and there's no movement. So it's a double shear versus a single shear. But anyways, not to get all nerdy with you. But yeah, let's take this and go put it on the RV and put that slide back together. Now we're out of the RV, time to trim off the end of the rail. Of course, where you trim is going to be determined by where your pin location is. It looked like I needed to trim one tooth back from where my pin was mounted. So I'm here with a cordless Dremel tool with an abrasion wheel, knocking off the end of that rail. Now I'm cleaning it up with a flat file to remove any burrs. Of course, I clean out the back of this rail also and where the mount will mount in there too. So now it's time for our reinforcement block. That's mounted just as we showed earlier. Regretfully, camera overheated, so I didn't get to show the pins, but the pins installed just like we demonstrated earlier. Now it's held in place with our new stainless steel clevis pin, and that drops right in. And also included in this kit is going to be a stainless steel washer for the bottom and a new, or probably several new, lock washers that go in there. Also going to be included a whole bunch of new stainless steel screws for mounting the original plastic block. I found out that those second screws, which you see me taking them out here, I had to use the original screws because the wall thickness was so thick the new screws wouldn't bite. So the recipe for my slide was new ones in the front, old ones in the back. And there it is, mounted tight. I'm also installing an extra stainless steel snap ring that goes on the bottom there just as an extra insurance, but it's now time to test it. All right. We're good.
Fixed.
There we go.
It's fixed.
Oh, that's so much better than pulling apart. Pulling apart that. Oh, jeez.
Oh, besides hundreds of dollars.
Oh my gosh. Hope you've enjoyed the video. My real hope is that you actually never need a repair block like this. But if you do, I'll put them on my website. I'm going to keep a couple spares in my RV, and if you guys want some, I'll put them on the site with a whole hardware kit with some spares and that kind of stuff too. So I get a feeling as RVs get a little bit of age on them, those rails are going to start breaking because of that stress concentration point. But it'll be an interesting study to find out. But until the next video, God bless. You guys take care. See you then.